Hey y'all, this is Big Country with Big Country Survival. Got the dog here with me. So if you hear any rattling, that might be what it is. Um, so in one of my previous videos, I mentioned switching over my bug out bag for a trip out of town in an urban environment. We went to this like festival fair type deal. Lots and lots of crowds. Um, I remained armed. I had the dog with me. Um, so I didn't have to go through. It wasn't like the kind of place you got to go through metal detectors, but there's a lot of people. I was concealed carrying. I did my best to remain gray man as much as possible. But I carried the pack, not the full bag, a small CamelBak, my running with the dog bag. I carried it. I had pretty much everything with it except for the tomahawk that I carry with it when I'm in the woods. I did not have that, but I had all the other stuff, the medical supplies, dog stuff, and I even added a few extra things to, for uh, being in a public place with a K9. You know how you gotta have stuff to take care of your dog's mess, right? Um, but no, she was very, very good with people and other dogs. Everyone was bringing their dogs because, lo and behold, come to find out, it was a big parade and people had dogs in it, and it was like dog day at this particular event. No, I didn't know it. But she did really well. And then um, we stopped. Actually, it's only been a couple hours ago. Um, on the road and went into a little diner to eat. And this diner's part of a gas station. um, but she is thirsty. Big lesson that I learned. Changing subject, sort of. Big lesson that I learned with the dog in that pack. Um, I forgot to fill my water bladder when I left. So I had some water in the bladder still left over from a previous hike, but it went quick between the two of us. So I ended up having to actually buy water. Actually, I had someone, really, really nice old fella, just gave me a bottle of water for the dog. I didn't ask him. He said, here's bottled water. It was an unopened, bottle of some Deer Park type deal, bottled water. And he just gave it to me for the dog. It's like, well, that's nice. Yeah. So, but but I ended up having to buy a couple more bottles of water while I was there, because I didn't want to walk clear back to the vehicle to get into my bag and get the water I had stored there out. So I ended up paying $1 for $2 for 2 bottles of water. I mean, it was $1 a piece, which for a fair festival type deal, that's not bad at all. Um, so we got lucky on that one. Um, we were in crowds, a lot of activity, a lot of noise. She kind of freaked out a little bit. I mean, not like go violent or anything, but she just, when we first went in and first went into a big crowd, she hadn't been in crowds before. So she was getting a little nervous in it. I had to calm her down. But she ended up. She was still. I've been worried about her protective instinct. But what I was talking about stopping at dinner changed that. Um, it was relatively uneventful. About 6 or 7 drunk yahoos. I went out, I ate, and went back out to the car to let the dog walk around before everyone else came out so we could get back on the road. And then I had 2 other family members, a guy and a girl, um, and they came out. Um, and I ended up having to go back in for something, and so they were holding the dog. Um, and when that lead changed hands, I guess, and these yahoos come in and they're you know, acting stupid. But she did not take her eyes off of them, and they had a distance, so it was safe there. I mean, they didn't try and come into anything, come up there or anything, which the dog was a deterrent for that, but she did not take her eyes off of them. She didn't growl, she didn't bark, she was watching them. And so I'm not worried about this dog's protection. Right, I'm not worried about it anymore, because before her with people is, to her, I think the whole world is just a game, and sunshine, rainbow, unicorns that eat glitter and fart butterflies. What? um, but no, she had her situational awareness about her, because these were some guys, they were being stupid. And I thought I was going to have to intervene at one point, waiting, like the drunk yahoos, they were driving drunk, being stupid. I mean, the guy freaking had a full bottle of vodka and he just like stuck it in his pants. Like, not even his pocket, he just shoved it down in his pants. I mean, that's how drunk they were, and just walked into the gas station running his mouth. I thought I was going to have to intervene, but I wasn't. I didn't. But I kept an eye out on him. And the dog was doing the same thing. So I could not be happier with how the dog reacted and handled the situation. Like I said, my big lesson I learned today was water. It was not supposed to be as warm as it was. And being on pavement, in the sun a lot. We found shade when we could, but we were in the sun a lot. The water situation was big. So there's that. I'm glad that's over. I'm glad my trip to the city is over and the crowds. If I could go another few months or a year without doing that again, that'll be fine. um, but no, I'm real happy. Other than the water situation, which, I mean, if I had to I could have gone back to my vehicle and I could have gotten water. Because I did have plenty of water in the vehicle, I just didn't have plenty on my person. Um, if I had to, if we could have went back to the vehicle. And I suppose if I had wanted to walk until I found a gas station, I could have filled my CamelBak up there, for the dog, right? Because you go and, like, I'll be walking a dog down the road, and I'll stop at a gas station, ask if I can get water from get them to turn the water on so I can get some water for my dog, and she won't, they'll, that'd be fine. Yeah, you go ahead and get water for your dog, but water for you? No, you got to go inside and pay $1. um, but they'll give you some water for your dog usually at them gas stations. Uh, but but no, it all really was relatively uneventful. Um, the uh, dog acted well. She did her job, kept an eye on the bad guys, and you know took lots of petting from children and good people. But them yahoos were definitely weren't acting right, and she knew it, and she was gonna make sure nobody went near my family. So I can't complain about that. Anyway, y'all, this is Big Country with Big Country Survival. I'm going to go curl up in the woods and just stay there and not come out now. This is Big Country with Big Country Survival, and I'm signing out. God bless.